Welcome to the Luke Coutinho Show, where we can learn to reimagine our lifestyle.
Good morning, Sister. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti ji, good morning.
Good morning. I would love to continue the discussion on relationships and conflict. So I thought we could go back into relationships because something else that I noticed today happening, and I've also personally experienced it, and because I relate my personal experiences to even my patients and my clients, I recognize it to be something that we can look into it a little more deeply. So, for example, what happens when people change in a relationship for better? Like I have many clients who, for example, when they were dating, they were partying, both partners were smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol. Now they get married. One partner decides to continue, the other partner wants to make change. They start evolving, they feel responsibility, maybe I'll have a child. And so they give up these habits. And now they want their other partner to stop. And the other partner is, why should I stop? And like that, that's one example. To a spiritual growth. Some people are just happy the way they are. But one partner decides to start studying more into spirituality. And obviously, there's changes that he or she wants to make. And I believe that grows distance between the person who doesn't want to change and the person that wants to change. And then the common fights are like, oh, but when we were dating, now you've changed. Now you've changed. And these could be real things. You either change for good or bad, but it does create distance if both partners are not growing or accepting of one another's change, because sometimes one partner's change can make another partner feel insecure as well. So there could be many reasons. I would love for you to talk about this and, of course, relationships in general. What can we all do as individuals to improve the value and richness of our relationships, not just in marriage, with people around us, with colleagues, everywhere?
Anyone. One second, I have to finish. One second. Good morning. Last month, we went for a 3-day program to Mount Abu, which is the headquarters of the Brahma Kumaris. And it was a doctor's retreat, so there were a lot of doctors who came with us. 15 days after we returned, we had a little get-together at the center here in Delhi. And they were allowed to bring their families. It's like a get-together, everybody coming to know each other. And one of the lady doctors, her son, he must be in the 10th or 11th standard, I think. And he was very serious. He was not opening up, not talking. And I said, everything okay? And he just looked at me and he said, my mother has changed. And it was he was not happy. He was not happy. It was clearly visible on his face. It was not happy. He was not comfortable. And his tone and his vibration was more of a complaint, like my mother has changed. I said, yeah, it's okay. What happened? What has she changed? He said, since she's come back from Mount Abu, she's not speaking anything negative. I said, Acha, so that's not good? He said, I don't know, but she's changed. So it was, logical mind knew that the change is good, that mustn't be engaging in gossip, mustn't be talking typical language which she was talking. But for the child or for any member whom we are used to that person in a certain way for so many years, and if that person creates a very drastic change, not a gradual change, sometimes change is gradual, so it's easy to adapt for the other people around. But like you said, sometimes one person decides today that from today, no alcohol, no smoking, vegetarian. They take a very instant decision, which is good for the one who can do it. It's amazing. It's magical if they have their willpower to take that decision. But for the other person, it comes as too big a shock. For them, it's as if we were living with someone else and now we have another person living with us. So whether it's in external habits of our lifestyle, or whether it's in our thought process and our behavior, or whether it is when one person sees the other drifting towards a spiritual inclination. So there is a fear because we haven't really understood spirituality very well in this world. We feel spirituality means detachment, spirituality means this person will move away, spirituality means our relationships will not be the same. So we have a very lack of understanding, I would say, about spirituality, and sometimes even fear that they may leave me. Even that fear they have, that they may leave me because they've heard about someone who left home, got surrendered, someone, you hear, because there are people around you, though they may be 0.00001% of the total people who go there, but there are people, there are somebody's daughter, somebody's son who has left and they have gone and stayed in the ashram. So if your spouse or your parent or your child, I've even seen parents panic where their children want to come to us on a spiritual journey. So even people around them will warn them, you stop them, don't let them go there, they will leave you, they will not pursue their career. So, okay, everybody's right in their perspective based on what they have heard. But now, responsibility first is on the one who is creating the change. It's on that one. It's not on the others. It's on the one who is shifting towards a good change. The other one, they are not even aware. Those who are shifting towards the negative side, they're not even aware that they're shifting towards the negative side. But those who are making a conscious change in their life, whether it's in external habits or in, like, okay, I will not think this way. I will not engage in negative conversations. I will not gossip about a relative or a friend. They are consciously making those changes based on their understanding. But to remember that other people around you are not going to immediately appreciate it or understand it. They will only panic. So the first thing the one who is making a change needs to remember, do not impose the change on other people. So if I today choose to be a vegetarian, I cannot come home and say to everybody, okay, you know what, non-veg is unhealthy, I've realized. But till yesterday we were eating it. And today we start calling it wrong, we call it bad, anything, smoking, alcohol. Till yesterday I was having it. So I can't expect that just because I got one piece of wisdom today, I have to, translate it to everybody's life today. That is the reason where conflict begins. So leave alone just going on the change themselves. They want other people to come with them with a pure intention. I found something good, you also need to take it. I experienced this at my place. When my mother started coming to the meditation center, she would talk so much about it. She would want us to go with her. She wanted us to change our eating habits. And I was very clear. I said, if you don't want to go, you don't go. If you want to go, don't impose anything of this on all of us. At least not on me. I'm not taking it from you. I'm going to eat what I was eating. I'm going to live the way I'm. And that somehow stopped me from going to that place. It took me a couple of years to even think of going there because I already had this in my mind. I cannot eat this. I will not be able. Those things which now I know are not right for me, but that time they were part of my life. So I was like, I don't want to go to that place. And so I was very clear with her. I said, you don't impose all this on us. So I understand what happens to people's minds. You may be on the right path, but you cannot start coming and preaching about it to your family because they haven't understood it the way you've understood it, and maybe they will take their time. So the easiest way to influence family is just by gently living that change, not talking about it, not imposing it, and even in your mind, not rejecting their lifestyle, saying, this is wrong, this is unhealthy. We were doing the same till yesterday. So don't create all these negative thoughts. So normally the rejection goes first from us to the other person saying, what you're eating is not right, what you're drinking is unhealthy. So when rejection radiates from me to the other person will radiate the vibration, what you are doing is wrong. So if I send rejection, I will receive rejection. So I have to shift first to acceptance. Okay, I've understood this today, but what they are doing is right for them because they yet haven't got that fresh piece of information to open those series of thoughts. So I have to radiate acceptance to the habit which now I know is not right or it's uncomfortable, but I still have to radiate acceptance. It is subtle rejection in the mind from my side which gets me rejection from there. I've even seen people on a flight. Okay, I'm a vegetarian, but the person sitting next to me is going to eat what they like, you know, and because we're sitting very close to each other, okay, I will get the odor of that, but I have to just not have a single thought in my mind for that. Not a single thought. Leave alone any expression on my face, leave alone any behavior. Not a single thought. That is acceptance. And if I don't radiate a single thought of rejection, the other person will be comfortable in my presence. But if I'm radiating these thoughts, oh, smell this, that, what are they eating? Is this anything to eat? That person can catch very heavy vibrations from me, very heavy. So the rejection doesn't come from the people who haven't started the change. The rejection actually starts from the people who have started their good change. Because they suddenly, we call this spiritual ego. They suddenly feel, oh, we are great, and all these other ordinary people, what kind of a life are they leading? So spirituality means acceptance. Spirituality means humility. Spirituality means unconditional love and respect for people. So the journey has to be within. Don't preach about it, don't talk about it. When someone asks you about it, share. If they don't ask, keep quiet. Show them the change. Don't talk about the change. Show them that how giving up this habit has translated into health for you, has translated into happiness for you, how you've changed as a person. And most important, show them that your relationships are now becoming stronger because of this change, so that their fear and their panic, because people don't understand detachment. Everybody knows spirituality means detachment, but they think detachment means people will move away, they will not care for me, they will not love me the way they did. Detachment is only like this. It's like two children born joined. They're attached physically, so they have to sit, walk, move, everything together. Not comfortable, so operate it. Now one can sit, the other can stand. Emotional attachment means my mind and their mind is attached. I'm emotionally attached. So if one is in pain, I am in pain. If one is angry, I am hurt. This is attachment. And we thought this was love. This is not love, this is attachment. Now, spirituality strengthens me. I become emotionally independent. And then I detach means if you are in pain, I'm still powerful. If you are angry, I can be peaceful. Now, this detachment is extremely healthy for relationships. So, this means if you are in pain and I remain calm, I radiate the power to be able to heal your pain. If you are not behaving the right way, I accept you, I don't create hurt. But earlier, when I was attached, you do one thing which is not my way, I will get hurt and I will hold it for next few hours or next few days. So detachment makes relationship beautiful. Beautiful. The first benefit we will see of any spiritual practice will be in relationships, because my thinking starts changing about the other person. But all this takes a little time. It will take a little time, but because those who start the spiritual journey, they take it a little fast, they don't give themselves time, and they start doing things in a little physical manner. Spirituality is not physical, spirituality is everything here. So they're like, okay, they are in pain, I should not get entangled with their pain. That's not true. You have to be with them in that pain, but not consume the pain, radiate power. But it takes time. No, it's like a new child come to school. They will also take time to understand that subject. It takes a few months, sometimes it takes a year to even understand it. But by that time, we make our mistakes. We make our mistakes in our relationship, and the rest of the family starts panicking. So it is those who start the change who have to take care. And second thing we all need to understand is relationships was about acceptance, and relationship was about giving. That's fundamental thing that we were not taught. We were taught I expect is normal. I meet people who will come up to me and say, we are human beings. I said, yeah, I know that. So they say, so human beings means expectation is normal. So this is our programming. Like stress is normal, anger is normal, expectation is normal. If we do not have expectation, then what is family? This is how our programming goes. So that's something we have to be taught. We have to learn that acceptance is normal. And if someone is changing on the negative side, which means earlier the person was peaceful, calm. Now, because of certain situations in their life, job insecurity, business up and down, somebody's very engaged in what's happening in office, they're not able to give enough time. And most important, they're becoming irritable at home. They're becoming irritable at home. They're becoming reactive in their behavior because they're creating pain at work and then they're carrying that pain home. But the other person has to have that tolerance, that power to accept. So instead of expecting how another person should be. Instead of creating an image that they should be like this, I should work on myself. If I work on myself and I raise my tolerance, I will be able to understand and be compassionate for any kind of change that comes in the other person. If it's a good change, it's easy to accept, but when it's not a good change, when you say this person was very caring, today they don't even have time to talk to me. In case of couples, they need to understand that before marriage and after marriage is a completely different world. So they should not create an image of their relationship based on how it was before marriage and then keep on looking at that person through that image and then keep saying, but you were not like this, but you were not like this, but you were not. But that is my mistake if I do that. It's my mistake. If it is two brothers also, they may be living together for years, but when they start doing business together, they understand each other differently. It is at business that issues come up, which never came up at home, which means when we will come with the other person in a different sphere of life, there will be difference of opinion, there will be sanskars that we will see, things will happen, and but we chose to do it with them. Either I chose to get married or I chose to do business. That's why many couples say, we're fine at home, but we cannot do business together. Why can't you do business together? If you are fine at home, it's a great combination if you can do business together. Say, no, we can't do business together, which means I won't be able to handle ego and adjustment with the other person at work. Ideally, it's a beautiful combination to work together because it's nothing better than that you have a person whom you can completely trust, who has that same passion and that same feeling for the business. But people avoid doing that. They say we won't do business with family because different sanskars in business, different sanskars in family. But then it's not about the other person, it is about me. I will have to work on my sanskars. I understand, I adjust. So that is why spirituality is very important. Do it for yourself and you will be able to. We always say we can adjust with any sanskar. We should adjust with any sanskar, but only don't adjust with unethical. Don't adjust with unethical. But I find the other way around. People are not ready to adjust with sanskars, but they go on adapting with unethical things. Women are not ready to adjust with a small sanskar of their spouse, but they will accept domestic violence for years. So, there are two powers: power to adjust, power to face. Stand up for the right, power to face. But when to use the power to adjust, when to use the power to face. So, we are using power to face for a sanskar. With unethical, we are adjusting. And we are saying, but what can I do? It's not in my hands. It's just my destiny, my karma, and live like a victim. So both are lack of our power. While power to adjust, I'm not using my power. Power to face, I'm not using because I fear. I fear social pressure. I fear losing something. So relationship is not about the other person. It's really about us. So if I keep energizing myself, and if it comes to external habits like alcohol, smoking, if this person matters to me, the health of this soul matters to me, then I should be the first person who should be encouraging that lifestyle, even if I'm not able to lead it. Even if I am not able to lead it, I should encourage it because that is selfless. That is selfless. That is love. But attachment is saying, oh, then I'm alone. Together we used to do all this together. Now I'm alone. So I'm thinking about myself. I'm not thinking that you choosing a healthy path. I'm not. So that's how much we've become like this. Because lesser power means selfish. I only think about myself. And the more I energize, I will become selfless. So if someone around you is choosing a healthy path, then all that person needs is blessings so that they can hold on with determination and sustain that path. Leave alone spouse, even friends. So many people come and tell us, we lost our friends when we stopped drinking. I said, so they were not your friends. You've not lost anybody. So they, because we were together only when we were drinking in the evening. Now, because I'm chosen not to lead, I don't have those friends. So honestly, be careful before you put the label of friends on anybody, because friends doesn't mean what we eat, what we drink, how we party, how we holiday. That's not friendship. That's not. So if friends changed, then it only meant they never were, and so it's fine. If you go higher in your vibration, you will only attract those kind of people in your life. That is certain. That is certain. But when it comes to family, we have to energize each other. But for that, we'll have to strengthen ourselves.
Sister, that's beautiful what you said. I think you've answered every possible question in regards to relationship to all of this. I love that you brought up those words, understanding, acceptance, and how we should look at, yeah, you spoke about understanding and you spoke about acceptance and giving. So we have to change our sanskar, the program that whenever we get into, or we're in a relationship right now, the program is running from expectation because that's what we've been taught. The program's running from, if I give, I should get. So now by changing that program to a relationship in our eyes, look at with acceptance, with giving, with adjustment, without giving away your power, then our behavior automatically starts to change.
If you visualize, business is about give and get, give and take. That is business. So I can say you did this much, I have to do this much. The deal was about this. So it has to be fair, which is perfect, but that's a business deal. In relationships, we can't be talking that vocabulary. Then it's like, last time I did this for you, so now this time you should do it for me. We're only counting and we are bargaining. This is not a relationship. Let us understand whether it is about giving or getting. For example, here are two people and this person creates anger, right? This is the receiver of the anger and this is the giver of the anger. Everyone knows who is the anger impacting first. It's not impacting the receiver. It is impacting the giver. So the giver's mind is going to get disturbed. The giver's body is going to get affected. So it's a fundamental law. The creator of the energy is the receiver of the energy. So if I create anger and I radiate anger to someone, I am going to be the first one to experience it. This receiver of the anger has a choice. They can get hurt. They can remain hurt for very long. They can be indifferent. They can ignore, or they can just ridicule and walk off. They can go out, stand near the coffee machine with friends and say, again, it was the same today. And the friends will say, forget it. You know him. He's always like that. Untouched by the anger of the giver. So we always remember the giver is the receiver. It is not give and then get. It is get while giving. While I'm giving anger, it is I who is getting it. So I'm the creator because I'm the creator of the energy. The receiver always has a choice. Even the other way around. I'm giving respect. I'm giving love. I'm radiating forgiveness. I am the first one who's going to get, I'm going to get comfortable because I've just radiated good energy. Receiver has a choice. Receiver can remain upset. Receiver can remain hurt. Even if I'm radiating love and acceptance and respect, the receiver can take time, but the receiver has a choice. So our fundamental equation needs to change. I'm not going to experience love and respect when I get it. I'm going to experience it when I create it, which means when I create it to give it to people. If I use an oximeter when I'm creating anger, I can see my pulse is affected, not the receiver. The receiver may be, okay, perfectly fine. So the giver, the creator is the giver and the giver is the first receiver. So you want to experience love, radiate it to people. You want to experience pain, create it and radiate it, you will experience it. But if another person creates pain, you will not receive it if you don't want to consume it. So if I want to experience any quality, love, respect, acceptance, appreciation, understanding, trust, whatever I want to experience, there's only one way: create it. Create it and give it. And while giving, it's going to flow through your entire system while you're radiating it out. And that's it. And when you've radiated it, you've already received it. So you're not going to stand like this in front of people that I want love, because I already experienced it. And then I remember that I am love. So I'm not going to stand like this. So it is in giving that I will experience, not in getting. Not in getting. And so accepting people becomes easier because I am love. So I continue radiating love even though the other person has not behaved my way. So one equation goes right, everything in the relationships will come right.
That was beautiful, sister. Thank you so much for your time today, this beautiful morning, taking us through the depth of relationships and how we can see it different. I think this answers a lot of questions, especially in the healthcare, industry. I have a team of about 160 people, and a lot of us we faced that problem until we started learning from you, because you discussed this before as well with us, where we want to change our siblings because we know so much about health. And all of us have experienced exactly what you said: resistance, negativity, non acceptance, our ego and pride getting hurt, and then the justification, but that's my expression of love and care for you. And it just becomes misery after a while. But I think we've all learned from that now, just to allow people to be who they want to be, and we reflect the change. And it actually works. People around you start doing that, and inside you feel like, that proud moment, but you don't say anything about it. But thank you for that, sister. That's beautiful.
Thanks.
So much.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more. We're going to continue our journey, learning, sharing, and evolving.